Now, said I'd give one blast here of the Jaguar CX75 trial. Now, this is a car that's most likely going to be required at least unlocked from this event if possible, and if you're aiming to play a lot of the special events for the British season. Now, that's providing that they don't change things around. This car itself isn't exactly amazing, but it is required as well for Venom, which is an event which is effectively, from the Nintendo Switch point of view, 6 months to 9 months kind of away. So really, really far away. So like, it is down to the player yourself and your stock of like these cars that you might have for the Unleashed version. If you have enough to get within striking distance of unlocking this, it would be really advisable to at least unlock it now if possible, if you've got like a handful of these cars. But I said I'll play through the trial and then the routes that I use for the Unleashed things. I have a lot of those cars really tuned up. My ZR1 though, for example, is like right on the limit of the tuning required for that. So yeah, you can see the fact that like it is well possible to do even in under-tuned versions of the car. Now then, I'm going to try and see if I can make use of the Jaguar itself though, and tune it up a bit here without going too crazy with it. So I want a 1 minute and 10 time, but I also want to use this car for my tuning up for the next couple of days, if that's possible. So what I'm going to do is tune it up in the acceleration categories, just to complete that daily quest. And yeah, I'll throw the epic on that as well, or the import part. And yeah, so like I'm using this one, and I think that it should be possible to do this with the top speed, handling and nitro all on the 0. That way I'll be able to come back in here over the next couple of days and yeah, throw some tuning onto this one, but you know, not like just nuke it all the way to the top straight away, just so I can get some extra stuff. Again, this would show off the fact that this run is possible with a very undertuned version of this car, that it doesn't need to be maxed out. So all you need to do is farm out a 110 time, and yeah, like this one needs to be done a good few times. Ancient ruins in Scotland, not too bad, but the Jaguar itself, it's not exactly an amazing car. It's just one of those things where like it's a gateway car to get access to those other events. And yeah, I've seen this before with things like the McLaren SLR, where car itself isn't amazing, but again, it's used as a support car in a lot of different places. So yeah, 110 time though here to get some tokens out of this one. Definitely gonna be worth people's while to farm this one out as much as possible. It's definitely like, yeah, gonna be well doable with the 1-star fully tuned version, but like I said, I just want to punch it out with just the acceleration maxed out. I would always kind of, when I'm starting off tuning a car like this, I would always go with the acceleration first, handling absolutely dead last, and depending on the car then somewhere between nitro and top speed, depending on which one of those stats is sort of gonna give a car the most benefit. Like, this thing, even with 0 tuning applied to it, is still absolutely like a cracking car for this type of an event. Of course, Scotland is fairly forgiving to a car that's got a fairly wide angle of turning and such to it, but there you go, 107 time punched in with that run relatively easily. And again, that's my version, which is not tuned up in the slightest outside of the acceleration. I would always just gun for that, because it's one of the most kind of like valuable stats realistically in any car. But yeah, that's not too bad. Like, a nice chunk of tokens to be out from this. Needs to be around 15 times, so just takes 1 ticket, so a few refuels of this. And yeah, definitely fire in here over and over again and get all those 5 blueprints to be had as well from the trial. And yeah, like an absolute mountain of tokens realistically to be had from this. So yeah, you're talking about like 150, 225 and around the 400 mark from that. So it's not like, yeah, it's definitely not something that anyone wants to be avoiding, because yeah, like you see there, 107 time is doable in the even an untuned version of that Jag, just as long as you yeah, get a good amount of nitro and then throw yourself out in front of those AI as fast as you can. Next up then, taking a look into the actual Unleashed, and this is where, yeah, the majority of the blueprints come from. Now, of course, the cars inside here have fairly strict requirements, so 3,200 needed across the board on any of the cars before you're going to be let bring them in here. And obviously, that's pretty strict on some of the things. It needs to be a 3-star ZR1 at least, so I mean, I think there's a lot of players going to miss out on that car, because yeah, that is obviously a multiplayer reward. But I'm going to start off here in my McLaren, and all of these require a 51-second time. Yeah, my version is these cars for the most part are kind of in the gold state, but you can see there from the best time, 47.5 seconds. Like, you get a lot of leeway with these realistically. All you need to do is just like try and make sure that you're not like getting into too much trouble with the AI. It's obviously a bit chuddery at the start because of that FPS bug at this minute, but I'm just throwing out an orange nitro pretty much in any contact with AI. Imperfect over that ramp. Up top here, keep a small bit of nitro just for another imperfect. Orange nitro. Drifting all the way around here. And imperfect off the edge. Again, just going to stop it so that I keep onto some nitro. Imperfect up and over, and yeah, just make sure that you obviously make that landing beyond the barriers, because you can actually just fall straight down there. Blue across the ramp, can take it out, keep this nitro just for a little hop here, going in on the left hand side just so as not to like, it's slightly shorter if you can go on the right side rather than the left, but with the frame rate the way it is right now, especially in Scotland when water particles go into the air, it's probably best to just stay left and avoid it. 47 seconds, well easy in that version of the P1, but I think that's a golden P1 that's being used right there. Now then, the Aventador SV Coupe, and yeah, this one is also needed 51 seconds. Again, a gold version of car here, but like punching the same route more or less for most of these, because it is just a case of that AI at the start, get around that and you're away with it. Enchanted Isle is a pretty cool like little short track, so at least it's not too bad. The only problem is, yeah, it's a short like 50-second track, but this takes 2 tickets per run, so you're gonna need to do this like quite an amount of times to get all what is it, like 24 blueprints for the Jag from these guys. Here in an imperfect save, pretty much when you're jumping up all the ledges here. Open drift around this portion. Imperfect again, and yeah, just like it's all just about nailing the couple of ramps that are on it, and obviously watching out for the rescue helicopter that does kind of tend to randomly zip around this track a small bit. It's not always the same locations, that helicopter, so sometimes you might have to make slight adjustments if it's in your way. On the left again here, just because that frame rate, really don't want to run into trouble. And like I said, gold version of that car, but yeah, there's like 2-3 seconds left on the clock. So yeah, like if you have the 3,200 rating for that SV Coupe, that's 6 more blueprints in the bag more or less. Now the A12 super fast, and yeah, this one is not gold, far from it, but still it's a weird car, the super fast. It's kind of like got weirdly kind of sluggish acceleration, but once it gets rolling, it really is pretty cool. But of course, obviously, that's kind of a not great on a track as short as this one, because you got 47 seconds to get the car to the finish line. So yeah, I'm just gonna like again make sure and stay away from that AI. Just do not end up getting caught up in a big, huge kind of like cluster F of cars, more or less, because they can quite get in your way here if you allow them to. I'm just trying to make sure, like I say, just avoid ending up getting them. It's not too bad if there's one here left or right, but if they end up all in front of you and they start to jam up underneath your car and stuff like that, change something like this super fast, like you're in a world of trouble with it, because Yeah, this thing's pretty big and it will kind of run over certain obstacles and get them trapped underneath it, especially destroyed AI cars. Not exactly the most nimble of steering even at the max stars, but yeah, just gonna go straight for the finish line down the left hand side. 48 seconds, 3 seconds to spare. Again, well, 2.5 with that one, but yeah, that's and more blueprints. So like definitely not exactly the hardest of unleashed things. It's just about having those cars and having the rating. Now, the one that's absolutely on the edge for me is this 3-star ZR1. That said, like if you've been using this to get egoista epics or blueprints, you'll know the fact of like it is possible to get a decent time out of even low star versions of the ZR1 since that egoista epic run is possible in a 1-star version of this ZR1. It is just a case of like very, very unstable at low stars. If you're getting pushed around the place again, you're gonna get like destroyed in this thing. But just avoid the AI, get it up to speed, see if we can't get away from them a small bit up the left hand side here. Like this one is just 30 rating or so over the rank requirement to allow it to get in here, but the ZR1 is actually a powerful enough car even at lower star ratings. Like I'm still 2 stars away from maxing this guy. It is still really, really nice, especially given the fact that like there's definitely a lot still to come for this one with regards to tuning. But 224 top speed while in a nitro state, I think that puts it nearly in line with the Lamborghini Centenario, but there you go, 48.8, so 1 or 2 seconds, 2.2 seconds to spare from that 51 second requirement, and that is with, like I said, a version of that ZR1 which is just on the absolute edge of being even allowed to take part in this event. Go blueprint 24. So now all that's left for me then is just to grind out the blueprints at least from these races, and then obviously get the blueprints from the rest of the trial. So I've got 3 more to get from this, and then just 7 to be had from the Unleashed event. So there's like 2, 4, 6, 7 from that P1 then. And it's going to take a couple of more tickets to get those, but I'm going to bring this one, to the unlocked state in this video. So I'm just going to grab these ones and, then see exactly how many packs I need to burst open to get the, Jaguar CX75 unlocked. Now, and that's the last of my blueprints then again from this. So fully farmed out. Last one with that ZR1. Let's see, that brings me to 34 blueprints, and so I'm missing 16 to get it unlocked. And in case anyone's wondering, there's no blueprints from that whatsoever from the Legend Pass, either the paid or the free pad, and there's no blueprints either from the club season this season. It's very weird, like just kind of oddly small season considering it runs for 2 weeks. And needs 500,000 reputation, but no blueprints for this car anywhere else as of right now, other than coming in here into the shop and just getting some car back. So so I'd do this enough to actually get the car unlocked at least. Anyway, my luck hasn't been really great. I need 16 blueprints from this, so that's quite a few 3 packs. What is that? There is the potential for about 4,000 to 5,000 actual tokens being burned on this one, but at least like 6 from the first. That's not too bad. It brings me within 10 of the actual car, but still, of course, that needs 4. That needs 4 3 packs, and like. I've seen some really bad luck with stuff recently, but hey, at least that's another 6 at the very minimum inside in this. Some absolute trash from the other cards. And so up to within 4 blueprints of it, and hopefully, fingers crossed for the unlock with this, but I don't know, the game and me and luck haven't been really going hand in hand, but we'll see. I don't mind overshooting this too much because the car is, like I said, needed with bits and pieces later on. So yeah, that was always gonna happen, wasn't it? 49 out of 50, and yo boy, get the last 10 pack. And yeah, that's a guaranteed unlock at the very least anyway. So let's see, any extra blueprints, like I said, for this one I'm not gonna complain about, because they're not gonna get a trade coin, but I think I don't really have to worry too much about getting extra blueprints, because there's some extra blueprints. Ooh. That is odd, because I think that second star might actually be really cheap with the blueprint requirement. I'm not entirely sure, but that makes this I'll have to take a look and see how it stands now with the next star. But that's car number 95 unlocked. And it's a weird one, definitely. Maybe not exactly the best of cars, but still not a bad one to have in the garage. Buy one get one free. I'm gonna go for that just on the off chance that there is any extra blueprints inside that, since they're the cheapest way to get them. And nothing. But let's take a look then and see. Yeah, so that second star just cost 23 blueprints, but it means I'm 9 away from that at the moment. As of right now, I'm just going to farm out stage 1 with this, so I'm not going to push that to the second star anytime soon. Realistically, I'm still grinding away at the upgrades and stuff for that. I'm going to use those for the daily, and closer to the event, when I'm doing the contest run, I'll decide then if I'm going to bring this one up to the second and third stars. I believe it may be useful for me to do that now, but that's going to cost me about like 2k if I get bad luck on those. So I'm just going to hold up and see. Like, that jackpot obviously put me in a fairly cool position there, just needing 3 sets of 3 to get it to the second star. So at absolute worst, it's going to cost me 2,100, I think it is, around 2,200 tokens to finish off into the second star. That's pretty cool. And it just was like, I really wanted to get this one unlocked and kind of in the garage as fast as possible. Like I said, it's car number 95, heading for the 100 still. Anyway, guys, if you watch this and enjoyed, I try and cover all the Asphalt stuff, so feel free, please click sub, leave a comment down below if this video helped you out, leave a like, and there's other videos from me here and here. And as always, guys, drive safe, and hopefully you've got enough of those support cars to get this one unlocked, or at least close to unlocking with some tokens. But guys, as always, drive safe.